Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to Prehistoric Kingdom Alpha. My name is Swoop there, and here we are in the next episode of my desert mini park. I am building a Baryonx habitat today, and I have jumped straight into a speed build simply because I've got a few facts to tell you about the Baryonx, and I also have some questions and answers from my previous Prehistoric Kingdom video. I asked subscribers if they wanted to ask me anything to go right ahead and ask, so I don't have many, but I do have a few and I will answer them on this video today. So first, let's talk about the Baryonx, a really interesting dinosaur. Its name means heavy claw, and that's because of its large claws. I think it was about 31 centimeters long and probably like on its thumb. It was also quite similar to the crocodile. So it was one of those dinosaurs that kind of gave like a crocodile-esque look. It lived around shallow water, and it tried to sort of hook fish, from what they can tell with its claws. Apparently, according to what I read online, it could have also been a scavenger, which I thought was kind of interesting. It was discovered relatively recently, I suppose, in terms of, dinosaur dig sites. I think its first discovery was in 1983. And since then, it's had remains found like sort of all over Western Europe. And just Europe in general. It had twice as many teeth as a T-Rex, which is like full on, I think. So it had 64 relatively small teeth in its lower jaw and 32 like quite bigger ones in its upper jaw. And so that's compared to a total of about 60 or so for a T-Rex. So it had a lot of teeth, which is kind of cool. It had an angled jaw to keep prey from like wriggling free. So like any fisherman's going to tell you, catching a fish is the easy part, and then obviously actually keeping it from wriggling away and flipping out of your boat or off your line back into the water is the hard part. So I guess they had these jaws to actually stop these fish from wriggling away or getting away from them once they'd actually spent all this hard work trying to catch them. It grew to between 7.5 and 10 meters in length, and it could weigh up to, I think, like 1.2 metric tons, which is heavy. So yeah, I guess they are the facts that I have about the Baryonx. I hope you enjoy watching the speed build while I talk a little bit about some of the questions and answers that I had from my last video. So my first question was from Bryden, and she wanted to know what my favorite dinosaur is, seeing as I've made habitats for so many, and also if I knew if the game was on Steam and for how much. I can answer the second question really quickly. It's on Steam, but it is not available to buy at the moment. You can go on and wishlist it. We are currently still in closed alpha. We will be in closed beta in December, so only people that had purchased the alpha or beta versions will have access to that. And then next year, I believe in April, everyone will have access to the early access version. So bear in mind that it is still going to be the early access. The devs probably still have some things they want to iron out, but they also want to release a game that is as complete as possible, hence the reason why it has been delayed. Mrs. T-Rex, my buddy, has asked me what my favorite prehistoric animal is. So I guess that goes along with Bryden's question, what is my favorite dinosaur? Look, I mean, I guess it changes quite a lot as I learn more and more about dinosaurs, because until Prehistoric Kingdom, I really didn't know anything about dinosaurs, and I'm really enjoying getting to know a lot more about them. I think at the moment I like the Protoceratops and the Carnosaurus. But it just changes all the time. The Protoceratops has been a favourite for a while now, so maybe it'll stick. But I also just really like small dinosaurs. Like I really like the Psittacosaurus, and I really think the Aqualops is just so cute. The Aqualops isn't going to be included in Prehistoric Kingdom at this stage, but I really hope that the devs add that eventually, because it is so cute and it is so small. And I'm sure they could just reskin one of them and just change the design a little bit so that it was still involved in the game. Mrs. T-Rex also asked me what my favourite current animal is. So my favourite current animals have been the same pretty much all my life. The first one is an orca or a killer whale. Lots of people know them as. I just love them. They're intelligent, they're majestic. I guess Free Willy as a kid might have had something to do with that, I'm not going to lie, but I've just loved them my whole life, and if I'm ever lucky enough to see one in the wild, my heart would just melt. My other favourite animal is a horse. I've owned 3, not currently because I live in a big city, but it's just something about how trusting they are. Like, they could literally crush you at their will. But they love you and they let you ride them. I had like the most tremendous bonds with my horses as a kid and spent 12 years of my life owning them, riding them. So I really loved them. My final question that I'm going to answer is from Clara. Hi, Clara. You asked me that you said you were curious to know what my PC specs are and my settings on this game in particular. So I have an Acer. It's a Predator Orion 3000. I'm not particularly good with listing off specs off the top of my head, but I will link below to the model if you're interested, so you can click on that link and have a look at what I run at home. I set the game on the highest settings, both for this game and for Planet Zoo and other games, including Red Dead Redemption, which has really high graphics, and it always runs smoothly and perfectly. So most of the specs for this particular game are either on high or on ultra, and I think it looks pretty special. So there you go. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what I'm building. At the moment, I'm just going in, you can see me popping in some of the flooring for this building that I have built for the Baryonx viewing area. I wanted the viewing area to be raised up, so later on I do go in and make the the sand and that in front of the viewing area a lot lower so that the Baryonx can't sort of reach their nose into that viewing area and snap up at the guests. I'm also, as you guys would have seen in my previous videos, trying to be a lot more aware of disability and anyone who can't traverse stairs easily. So you will see, I noticed I put a ramp in there earlier. I'm now just going in with some garden beds inside the viewing area because I feel like in this hot climate they probably have quite a few garden beds on the inside of the viewing areas. 1, to keep them cooler, but 2, it's probably one of the only places they can successfully grow a lot of the plants that sort of would only usually grow in rainforest areas. Once I've done these garden beds and that, I tend to start kitting out the interior of the building itself, and then what I'll do is I'll start to put a roof on it. The roof that I went for ended up giving me so much grief, unfortunately. Because I built the entrance of the building in a curved fashion, I had to kind of build the roof in the same way because I didn't really want the roof to be straight and the entrance to be curved. I really wanted everything to be curved. I also went with a roof that kind of has like 3 layers to it, and you'll see what I mean when I start to build it. So I had to kind of, play around with it a little bit. And I also, because of the roof type that I chose, which is like this kind of plank-esque look, it doesn't really have any finishing around the outside. So I ended up having to finish it all with wood. I don't have that in my speed build because it did take me quite a while, so I'll show you that in the real-time part at the end. I've got the start of the wood here, as you can see, and I kind of just put it on just the front portion and then realised quickly at the end that after I'd built all the roof that I needed to add it on to all the rest of the sides of it, so I went in and did that after. I also do the whole habitat shortly. I make sure that I include some water because the Baryonx really liked water. I also have included the realistic entrance for the keeper and where they would bring the dinosaurs in and out through. I've started to do the same for the Ankylosaurus habitat because I realised in my last episode that I forgot to do that. So that has been begun. And I'm thinking in the next episode, I'm going to look at doing a hyaenodon habitat because someone has requested it and I haven't built for them yet. And I kind of think, why not? Why not give them a go? So here I am with doing this curved roof, as you can see, thinking I'm being so clever and really enjoying sort of stretching it out because we've got that rescaling tool and looking at it and going, yeah, I can probably cover up the interior and the inside of that. It ended up being a nightmare. But anyway, what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to let you watch the rest of the speed build in peace. You do have about 5 or 6 minutes left of the speed build, and then at the end of the speed build, we'll jump into the real-time part and you can come on a tour with me of the new Baryonx habitat. See you then. Well, hello everyone. We're back in the real-time part for the quick tour. Please don't mind the sort of blank edges over here and over here. They will eventually be filled with all sorts of wonderful things, but I just put this one out I'll show you where it is if I just zoom out. Here is the habitat here, and then if I turn around there is the rest of the park. So we've kind of got this big blank space here, big enough for a couple of habitats, I'd say. Then we've got a nice big blank space here, and then if I show you here, I've put sort of a walkway for the staff that comes around here, and I'm starting the Ankylosaurus. I guess because I forgot to put that in, you would have heard me talk about that in the speed build. This is where they would put the dinosaurs in. At the moment it is unfinished, I haven't finished that one. But let's have a look at today's build, the current build. So I popped this really fancy schmancy entrance in. I'm trying to stay motivated to play Prehistoric Kingdom at the moment, simply because there aren't very many pieces. There isn't a lot of foliage. I am trying to see like what I can do that's different. So I put in like these kind of round garden beds at each end, and then these sort of squiggly sort of garden beds that go all the way down the sides of these pools here. The pools have the little grates in them so they can drain, and then I have like this seating area. It is quite plain out here, but that's okay. That's kind of how I wanted it. So really the feature is the pools here, and they are very shallow, so if anyone was to fall in, they can quickly be fished out. No one's going to drown in there. And let's just head straight in to the building. So I talked a little bit in the speed build about how I had to put all of this wooden edging on all of the roofing. I've done it for all 3 layers of the roof. It was a pain, but it had to be done. So let's head in. I've also put like these realistic kind of building footers on here, like because the building wouldn't just be sitting straight onto the floor concrete. They usually have some footers and things like that go all the way around the building. So I've popped those in. We'll head into the building, go through this door here, and then what we'll do is we'll just turn around slightly here. So you can see I've got some seats over this side, and then excuse the Z fighting, it was really tricky to fix that up because of how I needed to cover the roof. We've got the ramp up the side here, and then you can come on up their steps and look into the Baryonx habitat. So you get a really nice vista of the entire habitat. You don't have a huge viewing area. Like when I say huge viewing area, I mean like height wise. It's kind of, I guess, quite small. Like you might sort of be able to just sort of look with your head out there. But I did that purposefully because I didn't really want the Baryonx to be able to come up and shove their heads through the viewing area, but I also wanted it to be like an open air viewing and not big enough for someone to jump through. I probably do need to put some more security so that people can't kind of get through here, but really, I mean, why would you if it's a Baryonx in here? I also off camera built this shelter area for them to stand under if it's pouring with rain and they want to, I suppose, and also this area where the keepers would bring in the Baryonx. So we'll head over to that in just a moment. Let's head into the habitat and just have a little look around. So this part, or this pool here, actually comes out from the original terraforming lake that I did. So if I just zoom up a little bit, you can also see the roof here and what I mean by how I decided to make it 3-tiered and thought I was so clever. So you can see I've put the fence. The river can kind of come in and go out. I've also put a little bit of green into this habitat because I feel like if there's water around all the time, like some grass and plants probably would grow, but I haven't put a lot of like big tropical trees in or anything like that, like just kind of a lot of shrubs and some fallen logs and things like that, so that the Baryonx has like an interesting habitat to wander around in. And then if we head over to the keeper entrance, you can see here I've got a door through into the building. And then I've got sort of this little box where they can kind of come out and then they can look and see whereabouts the Baryonx are. So if they come into this little keeper box here, they can kind of look out and go, right, well, they're right here near me, so I need to be careful, or they're all the way over there. I can sneak out here for a minute and do what I need to do here, but I'm right near the door. I can hop back in here if I need to. So they're not going to be unsafe. There's also this big door for the Baryonx, plenty tall enough. This is about, I think, 6 to 7 meters high, so it's quite tall. And then I have also got the back stage sort of finished. So I've got like these, accents on the side of the building, so it's not super boring. I've got this fence here to sort of screen this area from the guests, a little car park area where they might bring trucks and so on, and then the keeper entrance here as well. So there we go. That is what I got done today. If I zoom right out, you can see how the park is looking. We've got our car park over here, our Ankylosaurus habitat right here, our little Protoceratops habitat here, our Dionchirus habitat over here, and then the Baryonx habitat over this way. So what I'm looking to do is to fill up the rest of this space here. I might even actually extend out this path this way a little bit and have another path running up so I can put in a few more habitats. I'm also looking to fill this space out here and potentially have a walkway along here to a final habitat on this side. I don't know if I really want to do that because, I mean, not many parks would have a path that kind of just goes out and then you have to walk back along it. Usually you can do big loops, which is what I'm looking to do for this park. But I'll see how I go and how many episodes I get before this park also disappears and I am given beta with hopefully a bunch of new pieces and I know a few new dinosaurs. So that'll be really great. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you are enjoying my content and you do want to hit either the like button or the subscribe button or both, I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed so far. I hit 1,000 subscribers, I think last week. And since then, I've just been, I mean, I was happy before that, but it's just been so nice to know that so many people are willing to subscribe and watch my content. So thank you so much for your support and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.